As of midnight, abortion is now legal in Northern Ireland. British lawmakers voted last year on the issue, but has not taken effect until today. In addition, same-sex marriage will become legal in January. Pro-lifers in Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK are voicing their concern. Joining me now by Skype from Oxford, England, to talk about all the impact of this is Dr. Calum Miller. He's both a registered medical doctor and a research associate at the University of Oxford. Dr. Miller, welcome in. Previously, abortion was legally permitted in Northern Ireland only if the mother's life was at risk or if there was some risk of permanent serious damage to her mental or physical health. What does this new law permit? In other words, how far does this go?
Yes, well, this is an astonishingly radical law because it basically makes Northern Ireland perhaps the most radical abortion law in the entirety of Europe, despite being one of the most pro-life countries in the population in Europe. And so it has basically legalized abortion on demand for any reason, including sex-selective abortion, any disability, no matter how minor, up to 28 weeks, which is 6 weeks beyond viability, and basically puts North Ireland much nearer to only a few countries in the world who allow it up to the kind of third trimester of pregnancy, like China and North Korea. So it's a profoundly radical law that's been imposed on them.
Very alarming for sure. I want to give a little bit of background for our viewers about how we got to this moment, to this point. Northern Ireland is part of the UK, but it has its own government. The problem is that government collapsed in 2017 and has been suspended for more than 2.5 years amid its own political disputes. So lawmakers in the UK Parliament passed the abortion and the same-sex marriage laws for Northern Ireland. So my question for you is, what's the reaction been among the people of Northern Ireland to these laws where they weren't even allowed to vote for it?
I mean, it's been very remarkable. I mean, it's essentially been an excuse of the Northern Ireland Assembly not having met for a couple of years, which of course is a problem. But this has really been used as an excuse for what is essentially British imperialism, forcing this radical law on the people of Northern Ireland with not even a consultation. And I think it was about 17 minutes of actual debate on the law. So it's an amazingly colonialist move from the British Parliament. The public, of course, have been outraged at this. There was a protest of about 20,000 people at the Northern Irish Assembly buildings. People in the kind of Northern Irish government have been saying that they have received more correspondence on this issue than any other issue ever, which in Northern Ireland is quite a profound claim to make. And really, the polling consistently has shown that the Northern Irish people oppose this. Every sitting Northern Irish MP in Westminster opposed it. And really, there has been no call from within Northern Ireland for this. So quite rightly, the people are outraged, not just at this radical abortion kind of colonialism, but the fact that it was specifically done over their heads without speaking to people and consulting the people of Northern Ireland.
What has a Christian reaction been like?
Well, the Christian reaction has, for the most part, been very encouraging. So the Christians have been at the forefront of the campaign and have done an amazing job, really. We cannot fault the churches in Northern Ireland and the campaigning. They've done an incredible job there. But of course, Northern Ireland is gradually becoming less Christian, and there are some people in Northern Ireland who are fine with these laws. Probably the most kind of radical example of this is within nationalist parts of the country and the nationalist parties. Sinn Féin, for example, the kind of foremost nationalist party within Northern Ireland, traditionally a very Catholic voting base, has basically encouraged and allowed this imperialist move to go in. And so really they've betrayed their voter base, they've betrayed the people of Northern Ireland. And I think quite rightly their Catholic voting base is quite outraged at them. And I think we'll be looking to other parties who will actually vote for life and vote for their values as Catholics.
So important for pro-lifers all around the world, not just in Northern Ireland, but across Europe, to stand up and vote for life. Dr. Calum Miller, research associate at the University of Oxford, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.